Good evening. Some of the biggest rivers in the eastern half of the United States are flooding. Countless thousands of persons have been driven from their homes. Damage is so great that no realistic estimate is yet possible. The U.S. Weather Service reports that the flood is the most extensive ever recorded in this country.
It's getting critical, General. Harrisburg is predicting a 24-foot crest for tomorrow.
And it could get worse. We're expecting at least 5 inches of rain.
Okay, Nick, I'll come back. Got the 109th alerted for that patrol on the dike. So we've got to get people out there and work on the dikes, get them built up as high as we can.
I want 50 tons of sand at the Ross Street pumping station, and I want it there by 5 a.m.
There's still time, but this is the warning that the river is starting to come over the dikes.
Tonight, President Nixon declared 5 states disaster areas: Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, Virginia, and Florida, which was hit earlier by the storm. This makes them eligible for federal money for recovery efforts. The death toll has climbed to 73, and many more are missing. Nor is weather relief immediately in sight. For in some of the hardest hit areas, the heavy rains are still coming down. Two more cities along the Susquehanna, Kingston and Wilkes-Barre, were ordered evacuated. Officials estimate that some 100,000 persons in just those 2 cities were forced to leave their homes.
Well, she's young. She don't understand what it's all about. But it's a sad thing, you know, losing everything that you have like that.
When I first opened the door, this was the worst moment of all. You see everything topsy-turvy where it had floated up to the ceiling and then down again.
God, oh God, what are we gonna do? Come on, you're gonna do it. Oh.
When you see that yellow stuff pouring right through a beautiful home, well, I'm telling you what, break your heart. Really break your heart.
Looking out over the skylines of present-day Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, it's difficult to imagine that at one point in time, these 2 cities were 2 of the most important cities in the entire United States of America. The first settlement in the region was founded on the banks of the Susquehanna River in what is now North Wilkes-Barre. It was around here where the Battle of Wyoming was fought. Also referred to as the Wyoming Massacre, it was one of the bloodiest battles in recorded warfare history. For it, the city of Wyoming, as well as the county of Wyoming and the state of Wyoming, are named. Scranton and Wilkes-Barre mined the steel, mined the coal, and forged the iron that would pave the way for the Industrial Revolution, not just in the United States, but abroad. The workers in these cities staged the first successful organized strikes, formed the first labor unions. Without Scranton and without Wilkes-Barre, cities like London, New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles would not exist in the way that they do today. The T-rails manufactured in Scranton created the railroads that would traverse the nation. Before Chicago and before St. Louis, the Wyoming Valley was the gateway to the West. The rails that stretched from Philadelphia and New York into Scranton and Wilkes-Barre would carry from there into Pittsburgh and then far beyond into the expanding United States. The birth of the American railroad system was in Northeast Pennsylvania. The region had many firsts. The first Rite Aid was opened in downtown Scranton. The first Woolworths was opened as F.M. Kirby & Co. in downtown Wilkes-Barre. The cities had the first 2 electrical grids in the world. Scranton had the first electric streetcars, giving it its namesake, the Electric City. The first urban park in America existed on the grounds of what is now Riverfront Park in downtown Wilkes-Barre. The first jazz festival in history was held in the Hotel Reddington, now Genetti's Hotel. If I were to wax poetically and spout off historical facts for the next 3 days to come, I could not possibly graze the surface of what is the relevance, the importance, and the necessity of Scranton and Wilkes-Barre in the landscape of American history. Though the two may have fallen far from their thrones as symbols of regency and prosperity, it is not difficult to see their potential and their promise to become areas of prosperity again soon in the future. What do you do?
For a living, I work for a tree service.
What's your passion?
If I had a passion, I would have to say it's kind of car related, anything machinery, stuff like that. I've lived in the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area all of my life for about 31 years now. I think there's a lot of good in this area for the fact that it's a smaller city, not quite a large city, so it has the best of both worlds. You get the rural effect, and if you want privacy, you have privacy. If you choose to live in a city environment, you can have that as well. Certain things that I don't like about the area, it's kind of a hub. So you're between New York, Philly, and Pittsburgh. So you have an influx of all sorts of different stuff. There's really, the only work here is distribution centers, or if you own a business.
Between 1930 and 2010, Scranton-Wilkes-Barre lost half of its entire population. The once massive and bustling metropolis of nearly 1.5 million shrunk to just over 500,000 residents in less than 80 years. The shifting economy, coupled with a series of disasters, ended coal, steel, and iron production in the region by the mid-1950s. The area made attempts to diversify its economy, but most local businesses were still dependent upon coal. They, too, fell with the mighty giant of an industry. By the end of the 1970s, the city's 2 L train systems, 100-plus trolley lines, and dozens of regional rail connections had all ceased operation. The area, which once housed the most dense accumulation of railroad trackage in the entire world, now had only freight rail to speak of. The devastation of Hurricane Agnes was the final nail in the coffin for the city that gave the world modern industry. In 2008, Scranton was declared the fastest declining city in America. By 2012, the fire department, police, city council, and even the mayor were all on minimum wage. That same year, Wilkes-Barre became one of the most violent cities in the country on a per capita basis. In 2015, the National Bureau of Economic Research determined that Scranton-Wilkes-Barre was the least happy place to live in the entire United States of America. Massive corporations that once saved the area from experiencing the full economic burdens of the Great Depression, like Capitol Records, Planters Peanuts, Scranton Lace, and Stegmeyer Beer, are all gone now, leaving the barren husk of a bygone megalopolis behind.